What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis. We got some major news here for you guys in this video, several pieces of it. One, with August 31st being a major burden date here for millions of Americans, with the White House coming with a major announcement for you guys that we'll cover here in this video, as well as First Lady Jill Biden has tested negative for the virus, as she was testing positive, and just last week she has now tested negative. Same thing with President Biden, so they have recovered for now from the virus, and they will be reuniting. Also, Dr. Anthony Fauci says he now plans to step down and retire, as he has had, first of all, he's 81 years old. Secondly, he has had more than 50 years of public service, and he has served, I believe, 7 presidents, from former George W. Bush. Yeah, you can see here the 81-year-old has advised 7 U.S. presidents, starting with Ronald Reagan, through the HIV/AIDS epidemic, West Nile virus, 2001 anthrax, pandemic influenza, various bird flu influenza threats, Ebola, Zika virus, and most recently, COVID and monkeypox. See, a lot of people don't really, I guess, lose hindsight of a lot of these things with all these different viruses. Viruses, there's a lot of them around. They've been around for a long time. And, we think about, the polio virus, and, some of these viruses have been able to be eradicated, but some not. So, modern medicine, we hope and pray that they continue to maybe find a cure for some of these larger pandemic viruses. But Dr. Fauci says he's actually not fully retiring. He's going to, quote, "After 50 years of government service, I plan to pursue the next phase of my career while I still have so much energy and passion for my field. I want to use what I have learned as the NIAID director to continue to advance science and public health, to inspire and mentor the next generation of scientific leaders as they help prepare the world to face future infectious disease threats." Now, of course, Dr. Fauci's, had a lot of controversy with former President Donald Trump after they've kind of, former President Donald Trump kind of attacked him. And, but for all the past presidents, there really wasn't a lot of controversy with him before that. And, now he's 81 years old. So, he's kind of getting up there. And you can let me know your thoughts here in the comments. But, now we're dealing with, monkeypox, which isn't as widespread as the new BA.5 variant, which, is still 100,000 plus people per day are testing positive. So, yeah, this is one of the viruses that doesn't seem like it's going to go away anytime soon. So we will see. We will, as much as we want it to go away, it doesn't necessarily mean it's just going to go away. So let me know your thoughts here. Next up, we got August 31st is going to be a major date here for tens of millions of Americans, and could be a significant burden in their pockets. Take a look.
Just days now away from the Education Department ending its more than 2-year pause on federal student loan repayments. Many borrowers are hoping the Biden administration will extend that August 31st deadline and offer more debt forgiveness. But a new CNBC poll finds many Americans believe that could have unintended consequences. Our senior personal finance correspondent, Sharon Epperson, has more. Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Joe. President Biden does have a tough decision to make on student loan forgiveness. After battling higher prices already, a majority of Americans, 59%, are concerned loan forgiveness will make inflation worse. That's according to a new survey by CNBC and Momentive. That concern, though, may be overdone. Over half of adults polled, 53%, say if forgiveness put extra money in their monthly budget, they would pay off other loans. And 45% said they would save that money for retirement. But nearly 1/3 of all adults, 30%, say there should be no student loan forgiveness for anyone. If you dig deeper, there are some sharp divides among those who hold this view. While 39% of men say no loan should be forgiven, just 22% of women say that. Only 19% of young adults between 18 and 34 years old say no loan should be forgiven versus 39% of those over 65. Overall, 34% of adults say only those in need should have loans forgiven, and 32% want loan forgiveness for all who have student debt. The Biden administration has approved nearly $32 billion in student loan relief so far, and the Department of Education says it is working to improve existing programs to make it easier for borrowers who qualify to get their debt discharged. And Joe, Education Secretary Miguel Cardona yesterday on NBC talked about the fact that we will hear something about loan forgiveness expected this week. Back to you.
I know we did CNBC did a student loan survey back in January. How much did respondents, did their views change since then?
Well, we saw some interesting data in terms of their current financial situation. When people were polled back in January, over 5,000 people, about 29% of them said that their financial situation was worse than it was 2 years ago. When the poll was just done in early August, that number jumped to 39% of Americans saying that their financial situation is worse than it was 2 years ago. So we're seeing a significant increase in people really feeling some financial pain.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Sharon.
Now, President Biden could extend the student loan payment pause beyond August 31st, but we're only days away. This is the closest we have been to this, and we haven't heard anything yet. I mean, why are they waiting till the last moment? It's over 40 million Americans are just like, when are they going to tell us? And it's just like, you can see here, big week ahead as Biden will decide on student loan forgiveness and student loan extension. And it kind of makes you wonder. Here's a counterpoint you can see here. Larry Summers says White House shouldn't extend the student loan payment pause. Former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers on Monday cautioned the Biden administration against extending the moratorium on federal student loan payments and knocked unreasonably generous student loan relief, he said, could worsen inflation. I find this strange, but he says, quote, I hope the administration does not contribute to inflation macroeconomically by offering unreasonably generous student loan relief for microeconomically by encouraging college tuition increases. It's an interesting thought. Summers, who served during the Clinton administration, said in a series of tweets Monday morning, quote, every dollar spent on student loan relief is a dollar that could have gone to support those who don't get the opportunity to go to college. Student loan debt relief is spending that raises demand and increases inflation. You know, I'm not so sure if I agree with this. You guys can let me know your thoughts here in the comments. The average student loan payments are about $5,000 a year. Some more, some less. It really depends on the person, right? But the average person pays around $400 a month, or about $5,000 a year. This pause goes back to former President Donald Trump when he paused this, okay? So the question here is that, are they going to pause this again? At some point, they're going to restart, and over 40 million Americans are going to have to restart this, okay? I don't really buy the whole, the pausing of student loan payments is causing inflation. I just I don't buy that. How does, people living, remember about 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck or in debt. How does them not paying their student loans raise inflation? How does that affect the price of food? How does that affect the price of gas? I'm not buying that argument. You can let me know your thoughts. If anything, that's gonna when those payments restart for over 40 million Americans, that's gonna put even more burden on them. That's gonna make it harder for them to pay for food, to pay for gas, to pay for rent. I mean, that's just common sense 101. So and if anything, that's going to put more people into like default on student loans and stuff. Because I mean, who's kidding who? If you have the choice to pay your student loans or pay for food or pay for rent, pay for your shelter for you and your kids, which one are you going to choose if you have to make that decision? You're going to pay for food or pay for shelter. I mean, it's just common sense. You're not going to choose to pay your student loan if you have to make that hard decision, right? And this is $5,000 a year for the average person. So this is like, these payments. The other problem here is that the cost of college is astronomical. I mean, we're looking at, $20,000 a year, $25,000 a year for some average colleges. Some lower state colleges can be $10,000, $15,000 a year. I mean, and again, the cost is just continues to go up, 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 just like the cost of healthcare continues to go up, 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 up. That's why passing prescription drug reform, like they did in the last package, at least somewhat, is good. They need to pass college reform because that's another thing that needs to be like regulated somehow. Now, we paid off my wife's and actually mine too. Actually, we go way, way, way back. My mom paid off. I only went to college for one semester, and then I kind of quit to start my own businesses here. That was way back in the day. I'm 41 years old now, but we paid off. My wife has a full degree, a business degree from a very prestigious college, and we paid it off. I have no regrets in paying that off, and like I don't feel any ill will towards like people who have their payments paused, or even the $10,000 in student loan forgiveness that might be coming for everybody, even though like we might not get that because we paid it off, and also the $32 billion in student loan forgiveness that has already come for certain groups of people. I'll link you to that video here. You can see that here. I just did a video on that for who qualifies for that as well. Also, about 7.5 million student loan borrowers, again, these are adults, in default, people that were previously in default or in default now, will have 1 year after the payment loan pause expires and restarts up to enroll in a program that will return them to good standing. This is a new program here to get you back on your feet and put you back in a good standing of program. The temporary program would give borrowers 1 year to return to good standing once the payments pause expires. And new details of this plan will restore millions of defaulted student loan borrowers to good standing have emerged. And it's called a Fresh Start Plan. So you'll want to look into that if you're in default, but you want to get back into good standing. Another problem facing America right now is, you can see here this headline: student parents need to work 50 hours per week to afford child care tuition in the US. This report provides real data to reinforce the fact that student parents not only face more barriers than other students when it comes to earning a post-secondary credential, but also significant financial barriers. Low-income student parents need to work at least 50 hours on average per week at minimum wage to cover both childcare costs and tuition. This is because childcare costs are soaring, and America's public colleges and universities have proven especially burdensome for students with children, leaving many with no choice but to put in extra hours at work. Low-income student parents need to work at least 50 hours on average per week at minimum wage after accounting for grants, scholarship, and tens of hours of work at minimum wage to cover both childcare costs and tuition, according to a new report from the Education Trust and Generation Hope. Tuition at four-year public colleges has increased by 28% since 2008, with the cost, including room and board and other supplies, exceeding $25,000 annually per year. So that's $100,000 for a four-year degree. Yikes. And that doesn't even include interest. Yeah. And student parents face childcare costs that can be more than $7,500 per year for childcare. Double yikes. And then factor in the cost of, things like food, gas, rents, and healthcare. It's just it's a tough world right now. Yeah. Let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here. This is one of the reasons why pausing the student loan payments or maybe providing some student loan forgiveness, they can do it because the president can do it on his own, and they could do it without Congress. The problem with Congress, as you know, getting Democrats and Republicans to agree, and Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema, and Republicans and Democrats just is a is a pretty well, you can't get them to agree on hardly anything. Now, we're getting a bunch of states to pass out stimulus checks and a lot of different things. We have a big SNAP food conference coming up here where we might see food benefits raised, and we have seen a bunch of stuff here done here, and we're probably going to see a lot more. But this is one thing that can be done here for over 40 million Americans. So it's one type of stimulus program here that can provide significant relief. So let me know your thoughts here in the comments, and I will keep you up to date here with all these things here going on here on a daily basis. So make sure to subscribe down below to our YouTube channel. It's completely free to do so, and click the bell icon so you don't miss out on new videos. And show your support by hitting the thumbs up button for us down below. Again, completely free to do so. You can click here to watch the newest video on student loan forgiveness. There's been over $32 billion of that. And you can click here to see my newest stimulus check video as well. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.